Let me look at some of the timeline here. At 9:49 in the morning, Perry exchanged text messages with his mother. At 10, the boys buy $120 worth of fuel for the boat. At 10:25, the boys leave. We see them there at the Jupiter Inlet. At 11:24, Austin texts his father, "What's up? I'm checking in. I'm just out here fishing." Then at 1:16, Austin phones disconnect from the internet. And at 1:30, the storm hits the Jupiter area. Is that a sufficient sort of timeline, Bobby, to really give the story of just an accident?
Yeah, I think it is, and I personally think that that's probably what happened. I think that I've been involved in a number of these cases where children end up deceased, and the mothers have a very emotional reaction to it, and the need to find blame in some of these things is a strong one, and it tears families apart, and it tears friends apart.
Mark, I have to go to break. You sat back and sighed.
And I've been involved in enough homicides to see things start out as benign as possible, and then, you know, we're in the middle of a murder trial.
Now, Mark, you say foul play could have been a part. Why?
For a couple of reasons. You know, the last Snapchat message, the kids were apparently pretty good seafarers. It was "we're effed." It wasn't inclement weather. "Hey, Mom, the seas are horrible. We're in big trouble with the weather." It was "we're effed." Also, the fact that the boat's battery was turned off, which is hard to do. It's very hard to do.
Mark, I mean, why would that be? Why would they be turning the ignition and the battery off? Is there any theory about that?
I don't think the kids were turning off the ignition and the battery. I think somebody who took over the boat or tried to...
Bob, you agree?
I agree. It could be. I mean, there are also some reasons they might have done it.
Like
they're obscure. Well, if they wanted to reserve their power, if they realized that the boat wasn't getting anywhere in the weather, they were just wasting their battery and wasting their fuel, they might have done that to conserve fuel. You know, it's probably not advisable to do that.
Was the weather so bad that it could explain what happened to these kids?
You know, I don't know the particulars of the weather that night, but I heard it was a storm that came in.
And Mark, why would someone want these two boys? Why would they want them dead or abducted? Was there some theory here, something more sinister?
Well, one of the family's attorneys said there was just a lot of fishing tackle on the boat. I mean, it could be just as simple as that. I mean, kids die for Air Jordans these days. People die for $40 at the ATM machine.
So somebody came and just robbed them?
Kind of wannabe pirates, maybe.
Well, from an investigator standpoint, there's three things that could have happened. It could have been a natural incident like a storm. The other two fall under the foul play category. So under the foul play category, the first fork you might have is one of those boys doing damage to another one of the boys. Or the third one is somebody, an outside actor, an outside bad guy coming to that boat and performing bad acts. Mark